Hey, I'm Mona. I'm a pattern maker and textile designer at Bohème Design, based in North Germany. Today I want to show you how to sew the maxi skirt Mossø. Mossø is a maxi skirt with 3 tiers and side seam pockets, a white elastic, and it's also suitable for border print fabrics. So, let's get started. The skirt is designed for light to medium woven fabrics like linen, cotton, modal, etc. Additionally, you will need a clear elastic and an elastic for the waistband and threads. So now we have a look at the pattern pieces. You will need the waistband cut on fold 2 times. The elastic, there's also a marking on the pattern for the elastic. Then you will need the pieces for the loop belts, pockets, cut 4, and then the tiers. Tier 1, cut on fold 2 times. Second tier, cut 2 times on fold, and the third tier also cut 2 times on fold. And also the clear elastic, and there's a marking on the pattern also of the length for the clear elastic. First, please measure yourself and select the size from the chart. You can find the chart directly on the pattern pieces and in the instruction. If your measurements are different from the chart, then you need to do an adjustment with the width or the length. Do this first on the pattern pieces. Now that you have cut out all the pattern pieces, let's start with the preparation. First, cut the clear elastic for the tiers 2 and 3. You will find the length mark to the elastic on the pattern pieces. Then sew the clear elastic to the upper edge with the overlocker or the zigzag stick. Please keep the elastic taut and stretch it to the full length of the tier. As you can see, with the clear elastic, it's completely gathered at the top edge. If you don't have a clear elastic like this, you can also use a sewing machine with a straight stitch and a wide length, and 2 rows, and then gather it by hand. But this is the easy way. Next, neaten the following pattern pieces all around with the overlocker or the zigzag. If your fabric doesn't fray, you can skip this step. All 3 tiers and the pockets. I would like to show you 2 tips. The first one is how to sew around a corner with the serger. You sew over the edge, then lift the presser foot up, turn the fabric and down, and sew again. Make sure that you don't cut the fabric. The next step is that we sew the pocket bags on the first tier. Here are the markings, and place the pockets right side together on the first tier. Pin it and then sew it with a straight stitch. Back stitch to secure the seam. And then press the seam allowance towards the pockets. Pin the two preparated tier 1 pieces right side together on top of each other at the side seams and the pocket bags. Stitch the side seams, including the curve of the pockets back, with a straight stitch. On both sides. Now that the first tier is ready, just give it a good press and turn it right side facing out. As you can see, the first tier is ready and the side seam pockets are sewn in. Now we are ready to prepare the bell loops. First, fold the bell loops pieces in the middle of the long side, right sides together, and stitch the seam C with a straight stitch. Now cut this seam allowance of 2 millimeters and then turn the bell loops right side out. You can use a bell loop turner . And give it a good press. Now we start with the waistband. Pin the two waistband pieces right sides together on top of each other at the side seams. Stitch the side seams with a straight stitch. And on one side, leave an opening to later thread in the waistband elastic. Now I leave an opening for the elastic, back stitch, and the rest of the seam. Back stitch to secure and cut. The other side you can close the whole seam. Even if your fabric frays, you don't need to neaten it because it all will lay later inside the waistband. Now fold the waistband in the middle, wrong sides together, so that the nice side is facing you. And pin it. Pin the preparated waistband to the top edge of the first tier, right side together. The outer side of the waistband to the right side of the first tier. Sew the seam F with the overlocker. All 3 layers. Press the seam allowance toward this first tier, and if you would like to, you can also have a nice row of top stitching here to secure the seam allowance to stay. Using a safety pin or a pull-in aid, and insert the elastic into the waistband. Before you close the elastic with a straight stitch, check that the elastic has the ideal length, not too tight or too loose. Then close the opening by hand with the ladder stitch. Now we take the preparated loop belts, and before placing them, we press 1 centimeter on each side. Mark the 5 positions where your loop belt should be placed, 2 in the front and 3 on the back. Sew the first loop onto the waistband from the left with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. And then fold it down and sew the other side. And fold the loop belt down and stitch the other side. Now the bell loops are ready. Now take the second and the third tiers and pin the side seams right side together on both, on the second and the third, and stitch it with a straight stitch, and then press the seam allowance opened.
Press down the 2 centimeters hem allowance Stitch the hem with a straight stitch. You can also add another row of top stitching to the hem if desired.
Now that you have prepared all the 3 tiers, we're gonna put those together. Pin the skirt pieces from the second tier on the first tier, and then from the third tier on the second tier.
Right sides together and make sure that the side seams are matching.
Sew the seam with a straight stitch. Congratulations! You've made your own maxi skirt. If you like this video, please give us a thumb up and ring the bell to subscribe our channel. There will be soon more patterns online on our Etsy shop or on our website bohèmedesign.com. And if you would like to show us your skirt, then just tag us by Bohème Design Sew on Instagram. Yeah, as well you can follow us on Pinterest, Etsy shop, and on our homepage or Instagram. So see you next time. Thanks for watching.